Hi, I'm Aubrie.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. We're two friends having a good time.
I happen to be a Christian, and that's okay.
And I happen to be an atheist, and that's okay.
Welcome to the Christian and the Atheist podcast.
Let's dive in. It's underwear, and they're weird. Everybody knows they're weird. Everyone knows. Listen,
Okay.
If you're a Mormon and you're wearing garments and you're trying to say they're not weird, you're lying to yourself. Welcome to the Christian and the Atheist podcast morning show, where we tell you what's going on in our lives right now.
Okay, I'm excited about this episode.
We have a lot to talk about today.
We finished our Halloween episode. We dropped a new video.
Yeah.
Whoa, we're making a video right now. Hi.
We're not used to it yet.
It's weird.
I keep finding myself making a weird face. I tend to make weird faces in general without meaning to, and
so
suddenly I'm like,
get excited. You get to see these.
Yeah.
This episode's titled Magic Panties.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a Mormon thing.
Oh, it really is.
I can't wait to learn more. We have a few topics before that, but just know we're going to get schooled on magic panties.
It's coming.
And it's not something you can buy from Victoria's Secrets.
No.
Secret.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Which we aren't really fans of.
It's a lot less sexy than that. Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Watch the documentary. I think it's on
Netflix? Hulu?
Hulu. I don't know. Anyways, we're not talking about that. So, there's something I'm going to say here. Okay, so let's go to the episode we dropped.
Yeah, our Halloween episode just dropped.
While I was editing it, I'm just, watching it, learning how to edit.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's a whole
crazy.
Experience.
And all of a sudden, behind you walks a human. Mm-hmm. From my understanding.
So far.
Oh my gosh. I Marco Polo you so fast.
Yeah.
Or did I call you first?
I don't know.
I called you.
You were like,
it was one of those moments where I called you. Marco Polo was not going to work. I called you right away. I was like, what are you doing?
Probably napping.
And no, you were somewhere. I think you're shopping.
Anyways,
so I was like, hey, there was a person walking behind you. Look, and showed you.
Which, if you watch our video, you can probably see it's a guy wearing a bright blue shirt, and he kind of just walks behind. And I'm still shocked that we didn't see that, because you especially, were
scared.
You were like a Navy SEAL as far as visibility that day. You were like, I am on it. I'm watching, because you were nervous. Not only that, we were going to see a ghost or some spirit or something, but also just that
it's awkward
that we were going to someone getting ready for a funeral or visiting their loved one. And we're sitting there in black outfits hey, we're looking for ghosts. And so you were super vigilant at watching and making sure. And so the fact that we didn't see this guy in a neon blue shirt is crazy.
It is.
Are we that self-absorbed?
No, that wasn't a moment for us. But I remember telling you about it, and you literally were shocked.
Yeah.
And when you saw it, you were like, how?
Yeah.
And you're like, I could explain this away so many times, but on so many different things, but what the heck?
Yeah.
And same. I was like, literally the kids were in the house, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? I was jumping up and down you've got to be kidding me right now. How did I miss this? And it was right there.
He was not that far from us. If you haven't seen it, go watch our video.
Yes.
Go watch our YouTube video on the episode we just dropped.
I pointed out in the video.
Yeah. And it's wild that we didn't notice him. And because, especially, I feel like if it were a busy area, sure, or we weren't paying attention, but you were constantly, you can probably see it in the video, the amount of times Aubrie's doing this. Like a little baby owl.
Yeah, I was just scanning. I couldn't not. It's strange.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But yeah.
So then we decide to go back. But on the way to Skiatook, we head north on the highway. Was it 75? On Highway 75. And I said, oh, look, an abandoned limo. And you said, is it a limo or is it trash?
It was trash.
It was so funny. So we laugh about it. Ha ha.
There's this limo that
It's old. It looks like an Addams Family style
super stretch, black, very old school,
And
like,
it's
we're talking like a 1980s
Yeah.
Grand Marquis black stretch,
Yeah.
but it's like, y'all, it's grimy.
broke.
It's dirty. It's like the windows aren't, like, it's not like new that someone's like,
Yeah.
"Oop, we lost a tire." It's like,
It was
ugh.
pretty rough. And it's just on the side of the road.
Yeah. We had
In
a
the
giggle.
middle of nowhere, but like on a highway.
We had a giggle about it.
And so then we were
Moving
heading
on.
back. Do you want to talk about when we head back?
Yeah, so we're driving back we finished our episode and we're like, let's get out of here. And we drive past it. And both of us were like, that would be a cute place to take photos.
We look good. Let's do this.
We look great. It's an abandoned limo. How often do you get that? And both of us said it, I think, sort of like, throw that out there.
Like,
Meh.
turn around.
And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Turn
And I
around.
was
Let's
like,
go.
really?
You're like, wait, should I? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. So we turned around on the highway and we parked on the highway. We got out of the car on the highway. We set up our tripod and took a photo shoot, a little mini photo shoot on the middle of a highway, because how often do you get that type of backdrop?
This is like, and I was like, this is something that my husband would not be for.
Yes.
Like, you could get hit by a car
Yes.
going 80 miles an hour.
It's so funny.
It was pretty scary, but like
wasn't
also
bad.
what dreams were made of.
So both of our husbands tend to be, Brandon
Very
is very
cautious,
like, he's a type A person. He's a planner. He's very
Yeah.
organized. He's
Yeah.
very, he likes to make us a plan and stick to it and success. And he's not really one to do things like, hey, let's pull over on the side of the highway and take photos next to an abandoned vehicle.
No.
He would be
Neither
like,
Frank would be like, absolutely
No.
not. No,
Yeah.
we're not doing that. And I'm like, that's okay, I get it. It's fine.
Alright, whatever.
And she's like, let's do it. I'm like, oh no.
It was like, both of us were like, we never get to do this.
That's crazy.
It was so fun.
So we did.
We got some really cute pictures.
I
yeah.
didn't post a whole lot of those. I did post a few, but like, they're freaking cool.
Oh, it's so
But
fun.
they're like through video because we had we couldn't just pose and like run to the limo because it was on a hill.
Yeah.
And it was even hard to get the tripod set up. I had to like put it in the ground. There's dirt in my tripod.
Yeah, and it's grass. We're in the middle of country.
But that was fun as heck.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I was into it. So
I had a lot of fun. It was fun to have somebody that will go along with my weird, crazy whims with me and be like, let's pull off right here and take a photo. And you're like, great, let's do it. I'm like,
so fun.
It was so fun.
So I have two other things to talk about.
Okay.
And that one of them is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, and I'm pretty amazing, but like this isn't for that. This is like something I wanted to talk about because I think that a lot of people could relate.
Sure.
Like, especially moms when like the kids are really little.
Yeah.
So I have a really good friend that messaged me because she's been having she's been needing a little extra support, and I've been there for that. And so she sent me this sweet thing, and it's something already written. She didn't write this, so someone else wrote it.
So it's like a quote or something.
Yeah. One you could find on Pinterest probably.
Sure.
It says, when you meet people who believe in you, uplift you, always down to support you, back you up, and reliable and considerate, want you to open up, available for event session, you can call them and they'll be there. Pray for your success. Believe in you when you don't have faith. Have the faith needed to believe in yourself. Speak life over you. Keep those people around because you actually need them. And so she sent that to me, and I was like, dang, that's so sweet. And I have been in a really stable mental situation for a few months, and usually like for a few months.
You're doing great. Isn't it
Okay,
sad?
but hear me out though.
Isn't it sad that that's like an accomplishment for me? Like,
It's so good.
Because I'm the same, like, oh man, I am
been
doing
good.
fantastic for like 4 days straight. Hey. But
November comes around and like, well, it's November is what I'm just was meaning to say was November's here. I am known to have seasonal depression, and I've had some really good friends literally hit the fan, hitteth the faneth.
Yep. I don't feel like you need to bleep that.
Thank God, I will have to believe that. Thank God it wasn't on the same week.
Yeah.
But I was able to be there for both of them and be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm okay enough to support them in a heavy, like, amount that more than normal. Like, it's not a cry session. It's like, there's a week long of checking in. There's a week long of
just being
let
there.
me help you. And I can. And they accept. And it's been lovely on both ends. Yeah. So anyways, I was reminded of a time when things were not well.
Yeah.
So, do you remember? Okay, tell me this if you've ever been here. Either people, you, Kathleen, or our audience, is I had 3 kids. They were tiny little toddlers. My oldest was great, but she was little too.
Yeah.
But I had 2 really close together, and I was sinking in grief in because of the passing of my sister, and I didn't know how to deal with that. This first big loss, and then like I had babies.
Yeah.
And then I had a husband that worked shift work, and he was never there because he was working. But when he was there, like, we had our own issues.
Yeah.
And we weren't at our best. And that sucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure anybody listening has their own version of that feeling of this, all compiled together, and I'm drowning in my life.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. So I had an escape plan. Because I guess from childhood stuff, you have an escape plan when you've been through some stuff, I guess. That's my thing. I'm a flight person. And I wasn't like, I want to leave my kids. It was like, I need to get the F out of here and get some help.
I do this thing, and again, it's a trauma response, but I do this thing where without meaning to, and this sounds very dramatic as I'm saying it, it sounds like a lot. Hi, welcome to my therapy session, everybody. But I do this thing without meaning to, where generally everywhere I am, I come up with a way to get out of that. So, like, I know how to get out of your house. If someone locks us in, I'm like, okay, I know which rooms we can get outside to and get to help fastest.
I think we've talked about this before, which is hilarious, because this is true. And I was literally like, that's wild. I've never, well, it's not hilarious in the sense that it's hilarious. Sad that something caused this for you to act this way, but the way you're acting isn't crazy. It's just a response into how to figure out not to be in that situation again.
On one hand, it is like weird and strange, but on the other, if there's a fire and we can't get to the front door, I'm like,
we know who to go to.
I got this.
If we're in your presence,
take a left, Kathleen, go upstairs, go to the left. You're gonna go down this way.
Have to jump.
Yeah.
But your leg will break. It's fine. You'll live.
If you jump this certain way, it doesn't break. And if you drop if you drop from the windowsill like this, then it's less of a jump than if you jump out. You're saving 6 feet there. And I've spent way too much time thinking about these things, unfortunately. But yeah.
So my escape plan wasn't that I wanted to leave my family.
Yeah.
Well, like forever. And it wasn't to no longer be on Earth.
Right.
And you understand what I'm saying there.
Yes.
It was, I just need a month to not be here in this room with these kids and with this situation because I'm overwhelmed and I can't think straight. And that sucks. But what the funny part is what my plan was. So I was like, I wonder if I could fake a addiction to a substance and go to rehab.
No.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Cute idea. I think you could just go to rehab if you said to somebody like, hey, I'm really struggling mentally.
No, I needed my insurance to cover it.
Oh, okay. So you got to be like, I'm on crazy amounts of pills.
Like, does insurance cover that?
I have no idea.
But that's why I was like, thinking about it.
That's so
in
funny.
that sense.
That's so funny.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, because I'm seeing these dire moments with certain people, and it's not even just my friends. I've seen other people like talk about what they've gone through and how hard it is, and the season that they're in is so dire in the moment in their brain.
Yeah.
And it's really not, but they feel like it is.
Yeah. And
it's like it's valid.
Yeah.
And I just remember being that way, and it kind of made me chuckle and also be like, holy cow, I got through it, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's the beauty of it is I think, you know, like you said, like we've both been through situations of dire straits and like trauma and crazy things happening. Yeah. And in that moment, you think, this is it for my whole life. This is all that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
That's depression. That's...
Yeah. And that's not true. Yeah. Obviously... Nothing. For example, my brain still does this weird thing that it does. Yeah. It doesn't go away necessarily.
Right.
But that sitting in this like dark place forever doesn't happen. Eventually your life changes, your situation changes, you get help, and it goes away.
It gets better. But I had to do work to get me out of this. Mm-hmm. Like, thankfully, Frank and I went to marriage counseling, and that changed a lot. My kids got older, and they were more independent, and that changed a lot. I learned how to deal with the grief, and then I learned what certain things that weren't good for me. I made boundaries. My husband got a new job, position and everything. So
life changes.
It gets better.
Yeah.
It takes work, but it gets better.
Yeah.
So I just had to touch on that.
I'm glad we're out of those places now.
Everyone's like, I want my kids to be babies again. Absolutely not. Loved it while it happened. Thankful it's gone and they're who they are now. Yeah. I love it.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So another crazy thing. Well, not another crazy thing. Just a crazy thing happened on Saturday that I thought would be an interesting thing to talk about. And when I go to talk about it, I think the first thing we want to do is point blame on somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it's neat to have a situation where you decide not to do that. Yeah. I hate that the situation happened. I'm about to talk about something pretty crazy. But I'm going to go into it saying we're not pointing blame on anybody.
Yeah.
Happens and something happened.
Unfortunately.
And this is called for that kind of language because it was that bad.
Yeah.
So my friend / neighbor who lives down the street from me, her kids and our kids play together a lot, and she and I are buddies, and so we're really intertwined with the kids and with us. And so she took her sons to nationals track meet, and one of them won first place. Nationals. So cool. Crazy. So we were cool. Let's make a congratulations banner, stand in the front yard and greet them when they get there. So we're out there, me, my kids, the neighbor's kids, her husband, and they're 5 minutes away, if that. My dog's outside, and the next thing you know, 5 seconds happen, and our whole lives are changed.
Yeah.
And we literally were like, whoa. So, before I say what happened, to let you guys know beforehand, everybody's okay. Mm-hmm. Nobody died. And everybody's good now. Yeah. We're good. So, my neighbors...
Trigger warning.
Animals and animal attack.
Yeah.
So, my neighbors have a German Shepard, and he's in a gated fence.
Backyard, yeah.
He's in a backyard fenced in. The gate was shut. Mm-hmm. He got out because he was looking out the thing. He could see a little bit of us, and he saw we were out there. He heard us. And he's tall, and he hit the thing.
He busted through the gate, basically.
He's opened it.
He's
tall enough, like Thorin.
Yeah.
My dog, the thing.
Yeah, my dog Thorin is tall enough and big enough that he's trying to teach himself. We have the doorknobs that push down.
It's like that.
He's teaching himself how to open them.
And so that's basically what happened. No, it's not.
It's terrible.
It's what happened. And so I have my dog in my driveway area in the road.
And she's so small.
Just hangs out.
She's a Chihuahua mix. She's
a Chihuahua Terrier mix. She's not tiny,
but she's not big.
She's a small dog.
Yeah.
She's a small dog. She may be at the most 10 pounds.
Yeah.
At the most. She might be 7 pounds.
My cat is bigger.
Yes.
So he's a fat ass, but he is bigger.
The dog gets out, and because he's a dog and he is a German Shepherd, he has an instinct. Mm-hmm. And his instinct was to get my dog. And he got my dog.
I wonder if he mistook her for a small a squirrel.
He doesn't do good with other animals, and they don't let
Right, that's why he's always in the backyard locked up so that other animals aren't around.
In a place where he couldn't get to them. Yeah. But sadly, he found a way out. Anyways, 5 seconds, he pounced on my dog. He put his mouth around her, just like you see on the animal police videos. It's a police dog for a reason. Those dogs can do damage. Yeah. Anyways, he got her within 5 seconds. I was running towards them. John was out there. And I never seen someone run so fast. And he's yelling the dog's name. Yeah. Jumps on the dog. I've never seen anybody do anything so crazy. Jumps on the dog, gets the dog to let go. Yeah. And my dog's screaming the entire time. Is awful. Oh. And so I run to her, I grab her, and we go inside. And I'm like, I'm sure stuff has happened. Don't want to be too graphic. She's not bleeding. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as it
could be.
Yeah. But then I noticed things weren't right. Yeah. And I don't want to go into detail. Long story short, we took her to the hospital. It was so traumatic. Yeah. Like, I literally was like, I can't believe I saw that. I can't believe kids saw that.
Yeah, in front of the kids. That's so awful.
And their kids saw it, and John just felt awful. He's a dog lover. I'm a dog lover. Like, we, bond over the fact that we love our animals, a little more than we should.
Well, and like you said, we're not placing blame on anybody. No. Clearly, this was something that was
a complete accident. Nobody had intentions of this happening.
And he immediately tried to fix the situation, get the dog off of your dog,
He did what he needed to do. Mm-hmm. I did what I needed to do. He's like, I'll watch your kids. I got the kids. Mm-hmm. Poor Cade, who got first place, didn't get his welcome banner.
I'm so sad.
I'm like, that's all I wanted.
I know. It's so sad.
And that was one of my main things was like, oh my gosh, I wanted so bad to celebrate Cade. Anyways, I wonder if it's okay to say his name. Sorry if it's not.
We can bleep it out if we need to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get her to the hospital. The people are like, yeah, we'll take care of her. But they had to give her medicine to calm her down. And then they evaluated that her intestines were coming, she had hernia. And they needed to do surgery. So they do surgery. They reattach her. They tuck in her intestines, and they had to reattach the lining of the intestines that hold it in. And they had to reattach the blood flow because the blood flow was cut off or about to be cut off.
So much work, and she's so small.
Yeah,
she's little, and so that's so
she made it. She's home. I got her yesterday. She's doing really good.
Yeah,
she's a miracle dog because they said it is so rare for a dog that size and a dog my size. He's a big German Shepard. He's and he's young and he's muscular, and he did his job to be a German Shepherd. I can't even be mad at him. I'm like, this is just how they're bred.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she made it.
Yeah. And she seems like when I got here, Maya, that's her name, Maya. She's my little buddy. She always jumps up and loves me. Thing. She's so sweet. And she ran up to me. She ran. Her little tail was wagging like crazy.
Yeah.
She's snoozing on the
She's still recovering.
Yeah. She still has stitches or staples in, and she's working, but she's going to be okay.
Yeah, we got her out of the woods. She was in the woods for a while, quite a while. And I was like, this is insane. But all that to say is I'm glad that that's over and everybody's good. My friends were so sad about everything. Yeah. And they were very diligent to check up on us. Fed us dinner that night. And they were they felt so bad.
I can imagine. As somebody who does own a big dog, that's the worst nightmare.
And now they have to take care of this situation. And it's okay, this is a problem and we have to fix it. And they're doing everything they are supposed to do.
Right.
And so that's another thing is they're taking the right steps forward. Yeah. And we and so what I learned from the situation was, this is something that John said, and it's a Christian thing to say, is so many things have happened between our friendship that I'm literally they moved here, and I was like, I've never seen so much stuff happen to one family.
Yeah.
That, I'm like, you guys okay? Y'all are about to leave the neighborhood because of how much garbage that has happened to them that is not normal.
They're in the trenches that we were just talking about. Like, they're in the middle of their moment. And they're going to have to figure out a way through it.
Well, there's just one thing after another of interesting, situations. Regardless, it happened. They're good. And what John said was, it feels like the enemy's trying to get to our friendship and we're not letting him. Mm-hmm. And it feels good to have two families that can maturely look at a situation, know what they need to do to make it right, and then have it reciprocated properly. You know what I mean? The two of us are able to be cool. Yeah. We can figure this out. This sucked. But I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at your dog.
You're both mature adults about it, as in, this is a situation. This is an unfortunate thing that happened. Yeah. Let's figure out how to fix it and move on.
And they're going to do things that they need to do to take care of things. And we're okay, cool. Yeah. And everybody, it's anyways. Yeah. Let's talk about the long-anticipated subject. The magic
Mormon underpants.
Okay, so I never knew this. I never knew anything about undergarments.
It's something that people always ask when they find out I was Mormon, or they find out even when they find out when I was a member of the church and I'd like my job or whatever. They'd be like, "Do you wear the magic underwear?" It's a thing that people know about.
Did people ask you that while we?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How?
Oh, you'll find out that this is not this.
But that's a really crazy question. Did you know them, or was it strangers?
Yeah, people I worked with or people I knew.
It was not inappropriate.
I mean, it's inappropriate, but you'll find out. So in Mormonism, there's this long rumored thing of magic underwear. It's real. They exist. It's a thing. So
hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt. Mm-hmm. And we normally wouldn't talk about this if we were both Mormon, right? This is a private thing that Mormons don't want the outside knowing.
It's not necessarily they don't want them to know. I mean, it's your underwear.
It's your underwear. You're going to talk about what your underwear looks like.
How often do you sit down with your friends and discuss the cut and color and feel of your underwear, and then add to that this underwear has religious significances that are deeply sacred to these people. So it's not necessarily that it's a secret that nobody can know about. There are parts of it that are considered, in Mormonism, they like the phrase sacred, not secret, which just means it's secret, but the reason is because it's sacred. There are parts of it that are that, but mostly it's just it's underwear, and they're weird. Everybody knows they're weird. Everyone knows. Okay. If you're a Mormon and you're wearing garments and you're trying to say they're not weird, you're lying to yourself. They're weird. It's a little weird, okay?
Or maybe it's not weird because you're weird and it works for you.
Sure, but
that's okay.
To the outside world, to people who don't know anything about this, they're going to go, what? Huh? What? They're going to feel weird. So, once you've gone through the temple, in Mormonism, there's your regular, Sunday worship services at the church building. Everybody can show up. Anyone can go. But there are then next level worship services at the temple. You have to have certain requirements. You have to have certain interview processes. You have to have what's called a temple recommend. In order to get that, you have to go through interviews with bishops and stake presidents. And they have to deem you worthy. They ask you questions like everything from, do you believe in Jesus, to, do you have sex with anyone besides your legally married spouse? And sometimes I've heard, especially in years past, of them delving into the sex lives of you and your spouse to try and deem you worthy enough to go to the temple, which Mormons believe is God's house. That's the house of God. So in the temple, there are certain, which this could be a whole, the temple itself could be a whole podcast series on its own. Yeah.
But maybe we can do something about that.
It's a whole lot. But in the temple, there are certain ceremonies and ordinances and all this stuff that you go through. And one of those is getting the temple garment, which is what the underwear is called. Once you've gotten that, that is something that you are supposed to wear 24/7. The only time you're not supposed to be wearing it is when you're in the shower, when you're in a bathing suit. They do now, when I was getting them, they didn't have this caveat, but now they give the caveat of, if you're mowing the lawn or working out, you can take those off.
But before, it was when you mowed the lawn.
Yes.
What was that?
They are cap sleeves. They come up to mid, like they're supposed to cover cleavage for women. For men, they come up higher, about collarbone length. It's like an undershirt, full length, and then knee length shorts, spandex shorts underneath. So from your neck to your shoulders, or from your neck to your knees, essentially completely covered. Now, they're not supposed to show underneath your clothing.
Why?
Because they're not. One reason being modesty.
Because they're not. That's all.
Yeah, one reason being modesty, that it's a way for you. Modesty is a big thing in Mormonism.
Yeah.
It's a way for you to make sure that your congregations are being modest. If they have garments on, then their clothes aren't showing those garments. So that means your sleeves have to be down low. You can't have any cleavage up. Your skirts have to be below the knee or to the knee, because otherwise they're showing your garments. And then the other is just embarrassment that this is your underwear poking out.
Yeah, because if you think about literally the undies that I wear, if they're showing, I'm like,
yeah,
that's a little bit inappropriate. Not inappropriate like I'm doing something wrong, but I'd rather you not look and know what I'm wearing. Or, which is funny.
Yeah, when I would go, for example, when I would go work at a salon, and if I sat down and my skirt inched up and my garment showed, people were like, what are you wearing? Are you wearing
That's happened?
oh yes. Are you wearing basketball shorts under your stuff right now? What's happening? And then you have to explain and be like, these are my Mormon underwear that I believe have magic properties that protect me from the world.
Wait, okay, we'll talk about that, right?
Yes, we will. We'll touch into the belief system and surrounding them. So there's an awkwardness there of people seeing them and asking what they are. There's an awkwardness of just people seeing your underwear in the church if they're showing. I remember, again, I'm tall. They don't really make a lot of knee-length skirts for girls with a 37-inch inseam.
Did you...
Maya snoring.
I literally was like, what? Oh, there's some kind of spirit coming through. It's the spirit of Maya's nose.
She's so tired. Doing good job, sister. Anyway.
Maya.
No, let her sleep. She's had a hard
She opened her eyes
week.
and I closed them.
She's like, nope. Heck no.
Sorry, go ahead.
So in the church, there were times that, again, my skirt would inch up and there would be women come over to me and be like, hey, your garments are showing. And you go, oh my gosh, okay, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
So, that was part of the thing. The other issue with them, at least for women that I saw, is there were different styles, different materials, but none of them were comfortable. They were designed in a way that you could tell they were designed by a man. They would give me ingrown hairs from my knees up. Most women, not to be
no, just say it. It's fine.
Most women experience urinary tract infections and yeast infections with them because you're wearing spandex 24/7, tight spandex. Or the other option, if you don't want to do the spandex ones, is a loose-fitting basketball short style of clothing underneath everything you wear. And so it was really difficult in the summer. It'd get really hot. You're sleeping in them. They're really not, I hated them from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because they were just like a stranglehold on me. And I could not express myself through clothing the way I always have enjoyed because I'm constantly wearing,
So when do you start wearing these?
When you go through the temple for the first time, you get your endowment is what it's called. And it's a ceremony that's supposed to prepare you for the next life. You get that before you go on a mission. You get that before you get married. You get that before a lot of people get those two big events of their life, marriage or mission. They get it before that. And then if you say you aren't dating anyone and aren't getting married, or you are not going on a mission, you can get it as you reach a certain age as well, and just to take the next step in your faith process. So, and as soon as you go through the temple, you wear them till you die.
Jeez.
That's it.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, they are. You have to order them from the church. They're $3 or $4 a piece. Like the tops are $3 or $4. The bottoms are $3 or $4. I probably only had maybe 10 pairs total. So that's 10 pairs of underwear total.
Only. That's a lot. So...
And then again, as a woman, obviously I menstruate. And they would they're white. They're pure white. And so they would get stained and grungy. And have you ever seen like TV shows and the men wearing like the white tank top and it's like gray and stained. That's what they start to look like after a while. But they're made of such a material that if you bleach them, they fall apart. And you just have to buy more and buy more and buy more and buy more. It's a pain.
Oh my God. So why do we wear it? Why do they wear them? Because I'm not wearing them.
No. You're welcome. So
must be nice.
Yeah. So there's multiple reasons. In the garment itself, this is the part that Mormons won't like me talking about. This is the part that's sacred, not secret, but secret. There are symbols sewn into the cloth itself. At least when I was wearing them, they were sewn in. I've heard that nowadays they are printed on. But there's
it a little easier.
Four small symbols sewn into the cloth. They are replicas, very, very reminiscent of the Masonic symbols of the compass, the cross, they mean something.
Yeah.
And so they're sewn in throughout the garments. There's 4 of them sewn in, and they are supposed to represent certain things about your faith. Like, for example, there's a little mark above the knee, and it's supposed to represent that every knee shall bow before Christ at the end.
I kind of love that. Don't hate me.
They're not terrible. They're not terrible. They're like, the symbolism behind them is very like, there's one over it's been a very long time since I've worn them, guys, and it's been a long time since I actively thought about the symbols and what they mean.
We literally talked about it just now.
Yeah, and so there's one over like the right, like over the heart, and it's supposed to be, symbolic of the way you're turn yourself towards Christ or something like that. I can look them up, but they're all very similar to that idea. Yeah. There's one over each. They basically land over your nipples. There's one over your belly button and one over your right knee. So those
none over the crotch?
No. Those are considered
be fruitful and multiply.
So that's the thing that's considered the sacred part of it. When, say, you've stained your undies and you've got to get rid of them, you're supposed to cut each symbol out of the fabric and cut it into teeny pieces like you would a credit card you're throwing away, and then dispose of it while praying, basically. Of the symbols, dispose of the symbols while praying, and then the garment itself is now just a spare piece of clothing and doesn't matter, and you just can throw it away. Use it as a lot of people I know would use them as like dust racks after that, which is strange, but okay.
No, that's not strange because like that's something that I know someone very close to me does. And it's just part of what they do.
Yeah, it's a very common thing that once you
I'm not throwing something like this away. I can use it.
Yeah. And a lot of times they're made of like silk or spandex or silky materials that you can dust with. It's very common.
Yeah.
The other reason people wear them, that's the main reason. The other reason is there is a lot of lore in the Mormon church about how they protect you. There's always these stories, like pastor stories, where like a man was in a fire and there's this man doesn't exist, this didn't happen, but the
fire's not real.
Yeah, but it's being told over the pulpit like it's real. It's
actually a river.
Yeah, none of it's real. Nothing happened. But anyway, there's the famous story of somebody who was in a fire and their whole body got burned except for where their garments were.
Oh.
And then there's the story of like, you were in a car wreck and you have scratches and cuts all over you, and a piece of the windshield should have gone right through your heart, but it was stopped by the garments. And there's all these stories. I'm sure if you ask any Mormon, they can come up with a million of them that they've been told over their whole lives. They're supposed to protect you from the world itself, from physical danger.
Yeah.
They're also supposed to protect you from yourself.
Oh.
Say you and your coworker are getting a little cozy and you're not supposed to be, and it's time to get hot and heavy as you're taking off your
they kind of
slinky dress. Suddenly you hit the garments and you're like, I shouldn't be doing this.
That would 100% deter me.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, maybe. It depends on how many times I've done that.
I mean,
you get a little close every time.
Yeah. It's supposed to protect
I'm thinking
you.
Teenager-wise.
Yeah, it's supposed to protect you from physical damage. It's supposed to protect you from your own.
That's smart.
Your own thoughts. It's supposed to protect other people from, whatever. It's just supposed to be a protection thing for you.
Okay.
Mormons, it is very much, when I'm saying all this, it's kind of like, okay, this isn't terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're a little like cumbersome. They're
problematic. I 100% think they're problematic.
Oh, they're a little awkward, and they're kind of goofy looking, and they make your fashion choices really difficult. But then there comes the stigma surrounding them of somebody who isn't wearing them. And so, for example, if you're at church and there's somebody standing around whose shirt is just cut a little too low, that person hasn't gone to the temple, which means they're not worthy enough to go to the temple. I still, without even realizing it, if I meet people and I know that they're Mormon, without even consciously thinking of it, I check for a garment line above their knee. And I think, oh, they're not wearing garments. And then I go, why the do I care? Why do I care? When Brandon and I left the church and stopped going to church, there was about almost a year of time where we didn't really tell people like, hey, we're not going to church anymore. We don't believe it. We just sort of tried to ease ourselves out of it. And one of those things that we started doing was not wearing garments. I was still wearing the same clothes that I had been wearing while wearing garments. I didn't go on a shopping spree. But suddenly everybody could tell, and I started getting people touching me a lot more to double check.
Holy moly.
Doing a lot of shoulder feeling to feel for the seam. Doing a lot of this, leg grabbing
to feel what you're doing.
I had someone grab my butt because, again, they're spandex, so they kind of hold things in. And I had someone, like a girl that I'd gone to high school with who, we didn't have that relationship. I hadn't talked to her since high school, but I saw her and chatting with her, and she did a butt, full, my husband does, butt grab to try and see if she could feel the spandex. I had someone once try to reach into my shirt to feel if I had garments on.
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are.
And this is
Think about it. Why are you doing this?
This is why when people who are Mormon and people who leave the church are saying, yeah, I left the church. Don't talk to me about it. Yeah, I'm telling my neighbors. I'm telling my friends. I'm posting it on social media. Yeah, I'm leaving now. I'm done. This is the reason why. Yeah. Mormons, a lot of people, and this probably goes for any religion, but especially ones where it's so involved in every aspect of your life. I always heard from Mormons, why are you making such a big stink? Why are you announcing? This isn't a flight. You don't have to announce your departure. Why are you, you leave the church, but you can't leave it alone. That's another one. And all these things. And it's because people are reaching into my clothing and peeking in my windows. That's why I'm resigning. That's why I'm, telling people. That's why I'm saying, I'm out. Don't speak to me anymore. Because at some point, y'all are the problem. If you're thinking to yourself,
feels a little controlling.
Very. If you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if she's still wearing her garments, I should reach into her clothing to find out. Then that's a you issue. That's a you problem.
That's a good point.
And so,
I'm like, I'd run for the hills.
Yeah.
Once I realized this feels a little icky.
Oh, it was very icky. And it was really
I would like to think I would. I can't really attest to that. But I can see why you ran for the hills because outside looking in, loving church and God and religion for the most part. I'm in a weird place with it, but know that watching it, hearing about it, and knowing this, it's like feels very like a control issue.
Yes,
and it's like, why, if my church, like there's certain things that are expected of me.
Yeah.
Like the adultery thing I can do.
Sure.
Not do. I can
continue to not do it. Yeah.
Like if I was doing that, they'd be like, you can't do that.
Yes.
And I'd be like,
you could expect,
that makes sense.
You could expect if you were stepping out on your husband and someone from church saw you, you could expect them to talk to you.
I would be taken away from the position that I'm in church.
Right.
And it would be very looked down upon. Yeah. With good reason.
Shocker.
Like, it's moral stuff, meaning like, I can't think of anything. Like if I killed somebody because I was just a psychopath and
say you're showing up to church high as a kite on something.
Go.
Somebody's gonna
do that on your own.
Yeah, a pastor's gonna pull you aside and say, "Hey, this isn't appropriate. We really need to talk to you, and maybe we can help you, and let's talk together and figure out something. But let's not do this." I feel
like if I had to answer to certain things, I could only do I'm like not expected to do a lot. There are expectations on me,
sure,
and
as there are in any organization,
but because I'm part of doing a lot. If I was just a regular attendee,
churchgoer,
you can walk in and walk out and not talk to a single soul, and you're so happy. We're happy you're there. But I don't know, the judgment of everything that causes, and the temple stuff and the mission, and so it's a lot. It's sad.
And you will notice, I've talked about this probably on the podcast before, but I still plan clothing so that I make sure that if a Mormon saw me, they know I'm not wearing garments.
Okay.
Like I really hate wearing something that I could have worn with garments. Okay. Like I will, you'll see me. I don't ever wear like jeans and a regular t-shirt. I wear jeans and a crop top, or jeans and a super low cut t-shirt. I wear a regular t-shirt and shorts that are above the knee, so that if I don't ever want to look like someone's looking at me could go, does she have garments on? It is now like a complex in me, because this aspect of Mormonism ruled my life for so long. It still is.
It makes it icky, really icky.
And so there's part of it is just the fact that I do enjoy. There's multiple reasons why I dress the way I do. Mostly because I really have fun doing it. I like I like, showing off some skin. I like this style of dress. I'm also hot. It's real hot, guys. I'm never not hot. I'm constantly warm, so it's cooler. But there is an aspect of it that is a small rebellion against Mormonism, that the only reason that I was dressing the way I was not because I felt spiritually closer to God because I had a t-shirt on instead of a tank top. And wearing a tank top doesn't make me less close to God, because that's what Mormonism's telling you. That's stupid. There's a silent rebellion of, no, I dressed the way I did because you controlled me to the point where I had to. And now that I don't have to, I'm going to dress how I want. I don't feel like shame or anything like that because my knees are showing and my belly button is out.
I wonder if more and more Mormons who are like me, like how I am in my Christianity, are accepting certain things but not accepting others. If this is a situation where they're like, I will wear them when I go to the temple, I will wear them if I go to...
I do think it's changing.
Do you?
When I was, almost 10 years ago when I was a member, you didn't see people who weren't wearing garments. If you were out and about in the grocery store and you ran into someone from church, you knew they had their garments on. They were dressed in a way that made sure. Now, I go out and about and I see people that I know are active members. That I see them and I'm going, they're not. Interesting.
And I think it's okay. And
it is okay.
God still loves them.
Of course. I think that this is such a small thing in the grand scheme of the planet's existence. If God is really worried about my undies, what are we talking about? He has if he's real.
Like that's the mindset though? Is God's worried about this?
Yes. Okay. Very much so.
Why?
Yes.
Because it makes you, because you're taking care of that aspect, like.
It's the same idea of
protecting yourself or whatever. Well, I guess
it's the same mindset of if you are not going to church and you should be.
Right.
It's that same feeling of, I should be doing this. This is the right thing to do. God is disappointed or upset or sad that I'm not doing this thing. Okay. It's that same mentality. If you're not wearing special magic undies.
So what'd you do with yours?
Oh, I just threw them all away.
Are they allowed to touch the ground?
Some people say yes, some people say no. There's a lot of
What if they get holes in them?
In between, you dispose of them correctly. You cut the thing off and you throw them away or whatever. There's a lot of people who, for example, with women, there's back and forth between should you wear them under your bra or over your bra.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
And there's people who say one way and there's people who swear by the other. I don't think it matters that much.
Because like it needs to be touching your skin kind of thing.
Yeah. There's women I knew that said that it has to be under your bra, which of course slick satin underneath your bra just slides right off.
Yeah, when you don't have chi-chis, things don't work very well.
Your girl had problems.
I already have issues.
Thank you. Your girl had issues with that.
Awful.
I wore them with a bra touching my skin. The same with your, say you're on your period and you have, like period underwear to hold your like pad in and stuff. Yeah. Does that go over the garments or under the garments? Again, there's back and forth.
It's all over the place.
I knew people who wouldn't let them touch the ground. They would, for example, if you're taking a shower and you take off your dirty clothes and you toss them on the ground, they wouldn't do that. They would put them directly in a hamper or hang them somewhere. I knew people who wouldn't let them, like in the laundry, they had special basket just for the garments so that the garments were only together and weren't touching anything else in the laundry.
Because they don't touch your clothes when you put your clothes on?
None of it makes sense. None of it is realistic. I didn't do any of that, but
I also... I don't want to be a sourpuss about it because some people do have a thing for this.
Yes.
And I think if you know all the things and you decide that this works for you and you find a way to make it work for you, I think
that's great.
This is something I could be like, okay, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I can support that.
It's same idea.
I don't think every Mormon should do it if they don't want to.
I think it's the same idea obviously not exactly the same, but it's similar in idea of like women who wear headscarves and hijabs and all that stuff. It's that same mindset. If this is what
they want to,
you want to do and works for you and you feel good doing it, by all means, great. But I did not have a great time. And I know a lot of people who really struggled with it. I know it causes health problems. I had health problems from these things. And not just physical health, mental health problems of constantly worrying about is the hem of my sleeve slightly below my t-shirt, which was not designed for this clothing. And maternity clothes was a whole other situation. Don't even get me started on that.
So did you wear them while you're pregnant?
Yes, they make maternity ones. Oh yes, you don't ever not wear them. I did this for 10 years. Again, for all the Mormons out there being like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I did this for 10 years, y'all. I wore these 24/7 for 10 years. I wore them.
So you have sex with your husband.
Uh-huh.
You're naked.
Uh-huh.
Assuming that's your thing.
Sure. High five.
Do you put them right back on?
Yes. Yes.
After you take care of them?
Yes. You absolutely do.
I'm not meaning to laugh.
No, but that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Can you just lounge for a minute?
I mean, yeah, for a minute, but then there's that
what if someone feels so guilty about lounging without their clothes, their garments?
They do. Yeah. That's a very normal thing that people start to be like, we should put our garments back on. Yes. Yeah. I didn't wear lingerie for my husband. I didn't have
that's a thing.
Yeah, because why would you? Why would you?
You can't. You have your lingerie on top of your garments.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you would take it off and put the lingerie on, but again, there's some people who see that as mocking the garments, and you don't do that.
Oh,
there's all kinds of little parts of it that you just don't even think about. Besides just the goofy picture of them, which you can Google. Friends,
should we
if you want
enlighten people, or do you not think it would be appropriate?
We can. If you're curious as what they look like and you don't know and you're dying to know, just Google Mormon underwear and it'll show you pictures.
I had plans to make an image No?
I mean, we could, but
You scrunched your face.
I feel like...
I do not...
I feel like...
want to cross any lines, and I feel like if I do, I need to, like... You need to, like, help me here. I have no idea.
I don't think it would be necessarily crossing lines as an... I think it would hurt the feelings of...
The people we love.
The people who are very active Mormons who believe this very much. I think it would be hard for them to see. So I don't want to post a picture. I'll say if you are dying to know, you can Google it. But yeah.
How do they Google it? Garments?
Yeah, just
Mormon garments?
Mormon underwear. Basic, simple. It's not hard to
No,
find.
I remember... What were we on? Kevin Francis's... Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Left at the Valley.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He asked, didn't he?
Yeah. Again, it's something that is known about Mormons. There's the you don't drink coffee.
That's so funny to me. I feel like that's inappropriate. It's like talking about women's weight. If they lost weight or gained weight, you don't talk about it unless it's someone you care about, like, that will know your intentions.
At this point in my life, I am not at all embarrassed if someone brings it up to me. When I was wearing them, I was mortified because again, these are my underwear. Okay. Yeah. And so it was just something, it was just one of those weird quirks about Mormonism. You'll find that there are many.
Excuse me, I yawned. It's good. It's good to know these things. I've heard this multiple times. I want to make sure we get it all out because you've said it to me a million times.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember being so shocked about it when I first heard about it. I had someone who told me I was wrong about them once. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Which is crazy, and this is why it's crazy. No issue towards her, even though I had issues with her at the time. This is why it's crazy, and then you brought the point up is... If you don't go through the temple or haven't been a part of anything temple related, you have no idea what half of the things in which you guys did are. And she, like, got mad at me.
That's, again, a normal thing for young people
and told me I was wrong about this kind of stuff. And I was like...
Because again, they don't tell you what the temple is before you're sitting there doing it.
And she didn't grow up in Mormonism. She converted as a young adult. So
and she hadn't been through the temple. And so to her brain, she's going, that sounds crazy. People are making that up to, like, make us sound bad.
And she still loved the religion and stuff. And so I could see why she got defensive now. Before I was like, this is crazy. And she was. But anyways.
But yeah, that's a common thing of young people, going onto Ex Mormon forums or YouTube channels where they're talking about Mormonism, being like, that's not a thing. You're making this up. And then being like, oh, sweet summer child.
Once you go to the temple.
Go to the temple next year before your mission and then come talk to me again.
Yeah. Or after you get married, before your wedding. So that's another thing I want to talk about, but not right now. But I want to tease it a little to our listeners before we go. The ceremonies that you had to do before you got married that made you think, should I even get married?
It was less of should I even get married. It was more of, this is crazy, but you're getting married in a week, so shut up and do it.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. When I went through the temple the first time, my brain, in the back of my brain, was going, what's going on? But
I cannot wait to tell that story.
I knew that, again, as a teaser, I knew that if I didn't go through the temple, I wouldn't get married in 6 days.
Oh, shit.
And so I was like, you're getting married in a week? Shut up. You're getting married in a week? That's what my brain was doing the whole time.
Okay, so something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know when this video stopped, I know we have the audio for it. Yeah. So it might have just went blank, or you might see a picture wherever I fill that space, whatever. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I can't wait to talk more about different types of Mormon things.
So I feel like when I first started talking about Mormonism, when we first started the podcast, first of all, I was a lot less, I was a lot more nervous to delve into a lot of this stuff, just out of fear of hurting people's feelings or offending anybody, out of fear of rippling some waves. And as time's gone on, I'm a little less like, oh, I don't know if I should say that. And a little more like, nah, if people don't like, for example, this episode, if people don't want to hear me talk about garments, they can skip this episode, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to everything if it makes you uncomfortable. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's the ending part. Like, so you get to hear STEM stuff about other things that don't have to do with the magic.
I think
panties,
people who are active Mormons should listen to it, because I think it's good to hear from another person's point of view.
Yeah.
There's always that question of, why did they leave the church? I can't understand it. Mm-hmm. I can't understand why they would do that. Well, I'm telling you why. This is how I felt as an active Mormon about the things that you maybe love about Mormonism that didn't work for me. And so I think it's a good thing to hear that perspective.
Like, empathy.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to believe it. So.
No, you don't have to, jump ship like I did. But it's good to hear.
Or you could.
If you want, I'll help you. Let me know. Send me a message. If you're a Mormon who's kind of having doubts, I'm more than happy to talk about it.
Yeah, we love having conversations with people, even Christians.
Yeah.
It's been fun to back and forth and kind of just hear different perspectives. But
we have a whole series of
we got
aspects, aspects of Mormonism that people like, can we talk about this? Can we talk about that? And I'm like, let's do that. So we've got a whole series coming up. Get ready, guys. You're about to become, like, you might as well get baptized. You're basically in it now. Don't do it. I'm kidding.
Wow. With that all being said, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. We'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Sick is sucky.
That's the one I had at the graveyard, and it was pissing me off the whole time.
I'm so sorry. We'll get rid of it.
It's fine.
I mean, we could, but it would be
terrible.
Why? Ow. It's maiming me.
We're fine. You ready?